Hello, everyone. On a scorching summer day, the small town of Willowbrook was thrown into disarray by a shocking murder. A local businessman, Mr. Thomas Reynolds, was discovered to have in his grand mansion. The news sent waves of shock and apprehension rippling through the community, leaving everyone questioning their own safety. As the sun beat down mercilessly, casting harsh shadows across the quiet streets, the atmosphere in Willowbrook turned tense and foreboding. The once serene town now felt suffocating, as if the very air was thick with fear and uncertainty. Whispers filled the air, speculating about the identity of the perpetrator and the motive behind such a heinous crime. Was it a random act of violence, or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic town? For many residents, the sense of unease was palpable, gnawing at their insides like a relentless beast. Every creak of a floorboard, every rustle of leaves outside sent shivers down their spines, heightening their paranoia and mistrust. In the wake, the once tight-knit community began to unravel, suspicion tearing at the fabric of relationships that had been built over generations. Friends eyed each other warily, wondering if the person standing beside them could be capable of such a monstrous act. As the investigation unfolded, each revelation brought with it a fresh wave of dread, casting a long shadow over Willowbrook. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the town into darkness, the residents found themselves grappling with a fear that refused to be extinguished. A fear that their once peaceful home would never be the same again. As the local police swiftly launched their investigation, collecting evidence and scouring for suspects, the tension in Willowbrook reached a fever pitch. Every passing moment seemed to throb with apprehension as the community anxiously awaited any news of progress in the case. With each knock on the door and every interrogation conducted, the air crackled with nervous energy, the weight of suspicion heavy upon the town. No one felt safe anymore, and every sideways glance felt like an accusation. Meanwhile, the demands for fairness and transparency in the investigation and subsequent trial echoed loudly through the streets. The public clamored for justice, their voices a chorus of outrage and desperation. They yearned for closure, for reassurance that the perpetrator would be held accountable for shattering the fragile peace of their town. In the midst of the chaos, emotions ran high, tempers flaring at the slightest provocation. Rumors swirled like a maelstrom, twisting truth into fiction and sowing seeds of doubt in the minds of even the most steadfast individuals. Yet, amidst the fear and uncertainty, there were glimmers of resilience. Neighbors rallied together, offering support and solidarity in the face of adversity. Candlelit vigils dotted the night, illuminating the darkness with a flicker of hope. But beneath the facade of unity lay a deep-seated unease, a lingering sense of distrust that threatened to tear the community apart. As the investigation dragged on, each revelation seemed to peel back another layer of innocence, exposing the raw nerves of a town on the brink of collapse. In the quaint Willowbrook courthouse, steeped in tradition and history, preparations were underway for the most pivotal trial in the town's memory. 3 judges, Judge Wilson, Judge Roberts, and Judge Patel, had been tasked with presiding over this momentous case. As they prepared to take their seats on the bench, the weight of responsibility hung heavy upon their shoulders. For Judge Wilson, a pillar of the community for decades, the gravity of the situation was almost overwhelming. His every decision would be scrutinized, his every word dissected by a town hungry for justice. Yet he knew he could not falter, for the eyes of Willowbrook were upon him, demanding fairness and integrity. Judge Roberts, known for his sharp intellect and unwavering commitment to the law, felt the weight of expectation pressing down upon him. He understood the importance of this trial in restoring the fractured trust of the community. With each gavel strike, he would strive to uphold the principles of justice and righteousness that the courthouse symbolized. And then there was Judge Patel, a newcomer to Willowbrook, but no less determined to fulfill his duty. He felt the weight of the town's collective fear and uncertainty bearing down upon him. urging him to deliver a verdict that would bring closure and healing to a wounded community. As the trial commenced, the tension in the courtroom was palpable, each moment pregnant with anticipation and apprehension. The judges listened intently to the testimony, weighing every piece of evidence with the solemnity befitting the gravity of the situation. Outside the courthouse walls, the town held its breath, waiting for the wheels of justice to turn. For in the hands of these three judges lay not just the fate of the accused, but the future of Willowbrook itself. And as they deliberated, they knew that they carried not just the burden of the law, but the hopes and fears of an entire community. After several days of courtroom drama, filled with gripping testimonies and meticulous examination of evidence, the Willowbrook courthouse finally rendered its verdict. The air in the courtroom was thick with tension as the judges prepared to deliver their judgment, their faces etched with solemn determination. Each word uttered by the judges echoed like a thunderclap, reverberating through the hushed chamber. And then, with a finality that seemed to hang in the air like a heavy fog, the verdict was pronounced. In a moment of clarity, justice prevailed. The truth, like a beacon cutting through the darkness, illuminated the courtroom as the guilty party was identified and sentenced. It was a testament to the unwavering commitment to fairness and transparency that had guided the proceedings from the very beginning. Outside the courthouse walls, the townsfolk held their breath, their hearts pounding in anticipation. For them, the verdict represented more than just the resolution of a legal case. It was a validation of their faith in the system, a vindication of their belief in the power of truth and righteousness. As the news spread through the town like wildfire, a collective sigh of relief swept through Willowbrook. The shadows of fear and suspicion that had loomed large over the community began to dissipate, replaced by a newfound sense of closure and healing. Yet, amidst the sense of relief, there lingered a somber recognition of the scars left behind by the ordeal.